What is grading? What are the principles for managing the grading process? Also describe the various types of grading schemes in the field of evaluation. Grading system. It is a qualitative assessment of achievement of a student. On the basis of the quality of the answer, the examiner gives various grades to different examinees by keeping the parameters from excellent to very poor. In grading, an attempt is made to identify relatively uniform score intervals in a hierarchical order ranging from very poor to outstanding performance and vice versa. Grading system is advanced process under which grades are not given according to the academics only. Other things are also considered while making the decision, like attendance, achievements, assignments, performance in co-curricular activities, etc. Student can perform a little in all modules for getting good grade instead of getting good marks only by performing well in academics. Principles for managing the grading process. Appreciate the complexity of grading. Appreciate the complexity of grading. Use it as a tool for learning. Grading is a socially constructed and context-dependent process. The role of grades can change over time and they have different meaning for different groups of people. Grading has four major roles, i.e., evaluation, communication, motivation, and organization. Substitute judgment for objectivity. There is no absolutely objective evaluation. The teacher must develop and render an informed and professional judgment within the context of institution, students, and their future employees. Distribute time effectively. Spend enough time to make a thoughtful, professional judgment, with reasonable consistency, then move. Repeatedly reviewing work does not lead to perfect objectivity. Be open to change. Your grades and grading system will be interpreted and used within the system that is not the one you wish for or the one you experienced as a student. The social meaning of grading changes over time. Be open to change but careful of grade inflation. Listen and observe. Students attach a meaning to grades that will most affect learning. Be clear with the students about these meanings. In establishing grades, you are invoking cultural beliefs and values that will share the learning potential of your grading process. The better you understand the culture, the better you can manage the grading process. Communicate and collaborate with students. Explain the criteria and standards you hold for their work and seek their active engagement in the learning process. Collaborate with the students to work toward common goals. Integrate grading with other key processes. Make grading integral to everything else you do. Seize the teachable moment. Informal feedback and discussion about grades is good for students. Emotional moments can be valuable teaching moments in which lessons and values can be imparted to your student. Making student learning by primary goal. Values can clash between internal and external forces. More student involvement leads to more learning and personal development. Be a teacher first, a gradekeeper last. Understand the student, believe in them, figure out what they need and help them learn no matter their background. Provide all students an equal chance to learn. Encourage learning-centered motivation. Motivation is a key to learning and grades have the ability to provide this motivation to an extent. Types of grading schemes. Percentage grading. Percentage grading is using a percentage scale, percent of 100, usually based on percent correct on exams and/or percent of points earned on assignments. It is the most common method in use in high school and grading colleges. It is used today as a grading method or as a way of arriving at letter grades. Letter grading and variations. In it, a series of letters, often A, B, C, D, E, or letters with pluses and misuses as an ordered category scale, can be done in a norm-referenced, standard-based manner. Four-category variation system was used in 1813 in Yale. In 1920, letter grading was seen as the solution to the problem of reliability of percentage grading and was increasingly adopted. Pass or fail. In it, a scale is used with two levels, pass and fail, sometimes in connection with mastery grading. Norm-referenced grading. In this, students are compared to each other using class standing as the basis for assigning grades, usually ladder grades. It was advocated in early grading 1900s as scientific measurement. Educational disadvantages were known by the 1930s. Mastery grading. Grading students as masters or passers when their attainment reaches pre-specified level, usually allowing different amounts of time for different students to reach mastery. It originated in 1920s as a grading strategy. It became associated with the educational strategy of mastery learning. Standards, or absolute standards, grading. In it, student performance is compared to a pre-established standard of performance. Currently, standards grading sometimes means grading with reference to a list of state or district content standards according to pre-established performance levels. Narrative grading. It involves writing comments about students' achievement, either in addition to or instead of using numbers or letters. In it, a normal instructional practice in an assessment context. Methods of grading schemes. Holistic grading. Assign a grade, based on subjective deliberation, and provide feedback to substantiate the grade, when needed. Competitive grading. Read all student paper, and place in rank from best to worst. Award higher grades to papers, which demonstrate lower student ability. Then, for all papers below the higher student ability, provide feedback on a separate sheet. For papers at the top of the grading spectrum, provide positive feedback with a quick comment such as, "No changes required," or, "No immediate concerns." Providing feedback on a separate sheet is much more specific and asks the students to self-correct, rather than providing proofreading, editing marks on the paper itself, which students are inclined to change. Rubric grading. Provide students with a list of criteria for grading showing a range of scores, rubric. Then, grade students according to the rubric. Issue-based grading. Compose an entire list of student errors and mistakes. Consider a range, or number of student errors, mistakes allowable to attain a particular grade. For example, a range might allow 4 errors, mistakes, B range might allow 8, etc. As you find a consistent type of error, consider this one error, mistake. Then, add up the total of errors found. Do not consider individual errors, look for pattern. Then provide the student with a list of the types of errors found. Contract grading. At the beginning of the semester, you may elect to grade contracts to students. In return for a particular work ethic, you may offer students a particular grade. You must stipulate the criteria for A's, B's, C's, etc. Then allow students to choose the grade they want for the class. Standard-based grading. You can provide a listing of standards, conditions which point towards a specific grade. For example, a paper must be completely free of run-ons. The content must be well presented. The sources must be correct. B papers must be somewhat free of run-ons, splices, etc. Content must be fairly well presented. Most of the sources must be correct. Peer response grading. Allow the student to obtain feedback from a group of students. Once feedback has been obtained from peers, decide a holistic grade for the peer. Model-based grading. Provide students with models of ideal writing, then allow them to compose papers according to the model as the gold standard. Subjectively grade according to how closely the paper resembles the gold standard. The gold standard should not be perfect. You might consider using one of your best papers from a previous semester for comparison. Advantages of grading system. The grading system has reduced the scoring pressure of students. According to grading system, the actual marks of a student do not get mentioned on transcript but only the grades. The spirit of competition is less among the students, which decrease the pressure. Students just focus on attaining the passing marks instead of putting their main focus on getting highest marks. This results into the decreased competition among the learners. By grading system, the suicide cases are rapidly reduced and almost finished. This system helps in overall development of the children. Assignments, projects and attendance, behavior, manners, performance in non-academic or co-curricular activities is also considered. Disadvantages of grading system. It is easy to convert marks into grades, but it is very difficult to convert grades into marks. Due to grading system, children tend to perform less. They know that they will achieve the targeted grade even by making a few mistakes. For instance, if a student targets the grade A that involves the range from 91% to 100%, he will know that even if he score 91, grade A will be assigned, hence he does not require to score 96, 97, 98, 99, 100. It demotivates the students who perform higher because. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share for more videos.